Busker 909 here. Today I'd like to show you how to build a super simple diddley bow, variation of a diddley bow with a washboard. I've kind of noticed recently a trend for kits to get more and more expensive, and I've also noticed that a lot of build videos, not all, there's a lot of great builders out there, but I've noticed a lot of them are getting so professional, shall we say, with so many saws and this, that, and the other thing. They're kind of getting away, to me, from the homemade instrument thing, creating the impression that you can't do it yourself, but you can. You can make all sorts of homemade instruments yourself, and this is one of the easiest ones. I'd like to just show you what I did. Very, very simple, very, very few steps, and I'll just take you through it. So it's a diddley bow, means one string. This was from the dollar store, right here. There we go. So I'm up in Canada. That's why I got like a maple leaf rag holding my guitar. So my prices are about 40% more than they would be in the States, and I have no idea what they'd be in England. You know, so this says $475. This is really recent. This is August 2025. So this is really recent. Prices have all jumped up and all that kind of stuff. But still cheap. That's what I use for the neck. I like to use the butt end, and I like to use two little rivets. I just drill a hole the right size for the rivets. So you do need a drill a hole, put the rivets in there. And with this, actually, you don't actually need the rivets. You just drill a smaller hole, and you don't need rivets at all. And of course, a guitar string. This one's a pretty heavy string. And then a bolt for the bridge. And I just take a file, which I also got from the dollar store, right there. File under the bridge, just like that. And I use a hot glue gun. I'm not sure if this is from the, there we go. I'm not sure if this is from the dollar store, but it was very inexpensive. I think it was 10 bucks at Home Depot. And of course you can build more than one, right? So the pickup, now you can use a piezo. I'm not going to show you that today because this is about using this pickup here. This is a MBG pickup, which you get online. Cost me like 10 bucks. It's a single coil pickup, and it does come with a cover and all that stuff. But all I do is I just take my little saw that I also got from the dollar store. I don't have a shop or anything. Everything I do, all the instruments not all the instruments I play, but all the homemade instruments I play, I make on a bench in our second bedroom, and I do all my cutting outside. Pretty much that simple. And this is like $1, you know, maybe $1.99, I'm not sure. And I made a couple cuts, popped the piece out, put the little single coil pickup in there, there's the wire, and wrapped it up in tape. This washboard, I got that for 10 bucks from Amazon. I'll include the link for some of this stuff, by the way. I happen to have a whack of these. I use them on almost everything, or on a lot of stuff, especially diddley bows. But that's because I was a repairman for a long time. But you can get these. They're about 5 bucks on Amazon as well. And the reason I like them is they're just so simple. You know, you just stick them on. I like to use them upside down from the way they were intended. If you can see that clearly, hopefully. There you go. Yeah. And then, of course, the wiring is on the inside. So you do need a soldering gun for that. Although, in reality, you could just twist the wires. That's the only connection, is these two wires coming from here to there. And did I put a ground wire in this? Oh, yes, I did. See right there? I don't know if you can see that. This is a little add-on here. It's kind of important if you're going to use any distortion. You can have it come to the to your rivet if you don't have a metal end. This is a metal end, so I just needed to ground to the metal end from the jack. That only works because this is a metal end, but you can ground to there or to the bridge. And that does help if you're going to use distortion. That's a little thing that's left out of some people's videos that I've seen, maybe they're not aware of. And if you want to crank it up, it makes a difference. Really quiets things down. As long as your hand's on the instrument, you won't get a whole bunch of hum and buzz. This is just a spring, just something random, adds a little bit of tone, reverbishness to it if you're banging away, especially acoustically. That's not acoustically. That's acoustically. So now we get to the frets. Well, a long time ago, I made myself a fret template. And hopefully you can see all these little numbers there. I wonder if that'll come into focus. Yeah, I got them from the internet. I have since compared it to, this is a 24-inch, just happens to be something I like because I played Jaguars at one point. So I just have the marks here, and I just put it alongside whatever I'm building and make my marks. Now, if that looks like a lot of work, or you don't have something good enough to measure those little distances with, because they are kind of precise, then what you can do is go to CB Kitty and get a bunch of these. There we go. All your different scales. And then what you can do with these, which I haven't done because I've done it another way, but that doesn't mean you can't do it, is you just cut them out and clear tape them onto a stick. 1x2 stick is the same size as these. So that would work out for you. So there's all your scales depending on what it is you want to do. So we're just about done with this thing. So once you've marked them, and I chose to mark these frets, you can do them anyway, but I chose to once again use the dollar store file. It's like a 3D show. So I did for the nut, because it's a Diddley bow, is I just found a screw. Hopefully you can see that. See if I can zoom in there. And I took that triangular file that I have, and I filed one edge of the screw. Drilled a little hole and just put it in enough so that it's lined up over top. So the action isn't too high. If you want, you can just play it with your fingers. That's about it. There's some marks over here because when I was first doing it, I didn't think that I'd do a video on it. I just didn't think ahead. So these marks over here are just me putting the marks in so that I can take the file and carve the frets. Right? Which I try to keep perpendicular, and I think I did for the most part. And then I take my drill and put in the fret markers in the appropriate spot. Very easy to do. I mean, it didn't take very long at all. And then I have a bigger drill. I drilled a bit of a hole here to put the tuner in. So, I mean, it's a real piece of cake. Nothing to it. Tons of fun. And making your own homemade instruments, you know, is definitely one of the coolest things out there. I hope that was helpful. Have a great day. Bye.